We have the tall person mic again. So some of you who've been before know that I grew up in Southern California. So moving to Estonia was a little bit of culture shock. Like, where's the sun? And sometimes it's just the little things, like you can't buy alcohol between 10 o'clock at night and 10 in the morning, which is weird, I think. But I didn't expect it to bother me, because who really needs alcohol before 10 o'clock in the morning? Me, apparently, because there I am in the Rimy once again with the young woman at the till going, it's 10 till 10. Do you think you can wait? It's like, I'm not having an alcohol emergency. I just didn't check the time. And then near our house, there's a 24-hour shop. And going in after dinner, get a bottle of wine, no. Yes, we are open 24 hours. No, we don't sell alcohol at night. Like, what's the point? What is there that you would buy at 2 a.m. that can't wait until morning? Celery? The only thing I could come up with was vampires who are like, I must have sunscreen before the sun comes up. But it's Estonia, you'll be fine. So, but Estonians do take the problem of alcohol emergency very seriously. My boyfriend Cliff and I had only been in the country for about a month, and it was February. I don't think it was Valentine's Day, but it was this time of year. And he said, hey, Sylvia, why don't you go and buy a bottle of vodka, and we can sit down tonight and we'll watch television and we'll drink cold vodka and we'll fall asleep on the sofa. And when you've been together 25 years, this counts as a romantic overture. It was the best Valentine's offer I was going to get. So I check the time first. It's 11 o'clock. I'm fine. I go to the shop, and we're new in Estonia, right? So I'm like, oh, this vodka. Wow. And I'm looking at it, and there's this big burly guy who's some kind of security, and he's watching me, and he crosses his arms. So I'm doing that awkward thing where I'm looking at the drinks, but I'm like trying to make it clear I'm not trying to put anything into my bag. I'm just looking. And I find one that's called Moe. It's like Moe Chandon, right? It's like the champagne of vodka. So this is clearly perfect for our Valentine's evening. And I pick it up, and burly guy steps towards me. And I'm like, and I try to signal, I have made my choice. I'm now going to go pay for this. And he shakes his head no and says something. In Estonian, I think maybe it was Russian. I had no idea. I'm new to the country. And I do my best Baywatch smile and say, English? And he thinks hard for a moment. And then he says, not cold? And I say, no, I'm completely appropriately dressed for the February weather, right? I'm not cold. I'm fine. Thank you very much. It's actually a bit warm in here. And he thinks again, and then he points at the bottle and says, not cold. Oh, okay, you don't drink this vodka cold. I don't know that I want to take his advice because I really like ice cold vodka, but he's just trying to be helpful. And I say, thank you. Okay, don't drink this vodka cold. I got it. And he gets this intense look of concentration on his face where he's trying to remember the English that he learned in school 20 years ago, right? And has not needed to use since. And he says his first full sentence, which is, that's not cold. And he puts his hand on my arm and leads me deeper into the shop. I'm going like, why? And he shows me a fridge. And he says, that's cold. And it's a vodka fridge. It's the most amazing thing I have ever seen. I'm going, wow, this is wonderful. Why don't I have one? And we both stare at this vodka fridge in appreciation. But there is no Moe in the vodka fridge. And I have set my heart on this champagne vodka. So I say, look, this bottle is not in there. And he agrees it is not. Now, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, right? And I am planning an evening in my pajamas. I do not need pre-chilled vodka. I've got time. But he says, you should pick different vodka. And no, I say, I'm fine. I say, I will chill it when I'll put it in the freezer when I get home. And he's looking at me like he's really not convinced by this. And I am now clutching this bottle of vodka like he's going to take it away from me. I am, in fact, looking exactly like I'm having an alcohol emergency. So I turn my back on him and I just go to the checkout to try and get my vodka. And the woman looks at the bottle and she looks at me and I still have this like panicked smile on my face. And I say, it's not for now. I'm not drinking it right away. She says, okay. Like she cares. And she clearly thinks I'm drunk already. So she very carefully tells me how much it is and I pay. And then both the burly guy and the woman watch me with worry in their eyes as I walk out hugging this bottle of vodka on the slippery February pavement, right? So it's like, I make it home. And I immediately drop the vodka and pick up my notebook and start writing, because this is hilarious. I want to write this down right away. And Cliff looks at me and he says, what are you doing? And why is the vodka not in the freezer? And all the words come out of me at once. And I say, yeah, I need to write this down first. Did you know you can buy it cold? But I couldn't. But it's okay because there's plenty of time. It's like champagne. And he looks at me. And the other way that you can tell that we had been together for 25 years was he didn't ask any more questions. He just took the vodka away from me and put it in the freezer. Thank you. Good night.